Okay, so we're now on Tales to be Told in the Dark 15 part 2 because a little unconscious moment I'm doing the gestures with the hand as I'm talking, but of course not realising that I tapped the screen and stopped the recording. So this is why you've got it in two parts now. That was 9 minutes and 16 seconds. So getting back on point, as it were, we're going back to this, talking about this Alien versus Predator film. I don't know how many of you've seen it, but basically you've got this young lady whose father, I think, if I remember rightly, is an explorer. And it starts off, she's solo climbing this mountain. And it's pretty amazing because she gets a phone signal and answers her mobile phone. It's funny that how that works in the film. But in this reality, there are parts of the civilized world of Europe where you cannot get a signal sometimes. I'm sure there are remote parts of Scotland and Cornwall and such places where that still happens. Anyway, joking aside, you've got this woman who's an experienced explorer of hostile territory, and then this businessman, this Wayland Industries, he wants to make a name for himself. He's dying, but he wants to leave something. So he's remembered. And so they've assembled this team of experts. And of course, you've got the predators come down, and then there's this detection of this borehole through the ice that's not possible to do with the human technology. And then, of course, you've got this team, they pass a point of no return, which is something on the spiritual path. If you haven't already got to that, you'll get to that. Well, even if you go down the conspiracy route, you'll get to a point where you think, I can't go back to the old ways. You start seeing too many things that don't make sense, that you start questioning. That's perfectly normal. That's all part of the process. If you so happen to go down that route, it depends on what grabs your attention. There's no bad experiences, they're all experiences anyway, but we're getting off topic again here, sorry. Anyway, so basically this whole team through their the archaeologist decodes the thing, and then of course they have to tamper with stuff, and then they sort of basically their own actions bring about their own demise, except for the one that's the sort of expert that's brought in to keep them all alive. Well, she certainly keeps herself alive. Now, I'm not saying you've got to be friends with one, and you can take this to mean in the physical world sense or in the metaphorical sense on this one. It's up to you how you want to interpret this one. What we need to keep in mind here is the essence of that story. Now, this lady, against all odds, survives. You've got the predator. Now, if you've seen some of these predator films, it's the second predator film. You hear the voice of this this predator repeats the young boy he encounters. He says, "You want some candy?" Now, he doesn't kill the boy. He's no threat. The detective in one of them, this predator does a scan and she's pregnant. So there's honour. The guy Wayland in this Predator versus Aliens film, he's like terminally ill, so he doesn't bother killing him, except this Wayland character then does something to the Predator, so who he does retaliate and does finish him off. But when it comes down to the battle with the alien, and the predator. You've now got this woman left. She actually is faced with quite a predicament. Neither are going to be a friendly prospect. But the better of the two options actually is the predator than the alien, because the alien is just about outright killing and out for itself. The predator is basically, they've got some sort of code of honor in this sort of alien sort of species. They're sort of like the gods, and they've sort of bred humanity just purely for their own honor and sport. And if they don't lose because they just self-destruct and take the whole world with them, they've got their own code, and it's not humanity's code, it's their code. But she gets the respect of this predator because she has a backbone, and she's prepared to face a fear. This is the essence of the story. It's basically showing the divine feminine, which is in all of us. You've got to find that inside yourself. You've got to grow a backbone. Stop giving away your power so easily, basically. It's all done by coercion and trickery. We're going to talk about this more in future videos. Now, there may be something that I say in this that is that clicks something for you. Something clicks into place. You have an aha moment. It may inspire you. Maybe something you can relate to in it. So I don't have expectations, but I am asking because in this physical reality, things are a bit tough. I sort of got myself in a hole, as it were, from the point of view of income. So any donations, just enough for a coffee or something. That's a figure of speech, because it's actually seeds to grow more sort of things here and become self-sufficient, sever another tie with anything that's coming from the outside world. If it can be grown here, all the better. But so it's sort of, I'm asking basically a reciprocal exchange. I'm imparting things that one or two of you said it's profound or it's wisdom or whatever. It is and it isn't, because where is this coming from? This is the thing. It's not from the lower conscious physical me, for a start. It's not actually coming from outside anywhere. It's just coming from within. It is divine inspiration. That's not meant to sound egoic, but again, it comes down to just look at the breakdown of the words. Divine. Well, you're divining. Well, look at anything in nature. A vine, tree roots, tree branches. It starts off from a central point, from a seed, and it branches out in all directions. So to divine is you're taking it back to source, basically. So to divine, so you're going back to source, and that is the intuition, the self-teaching. It's inside oneself. All I'm doing is just breaking down words because I see things in a certain way. Maybe, I don't know, call it gifted, or having a mind that just hears or sees things different from most people. But it is going through experiences and things that the rational mind can't measure, can't touch, can't point to anything. This is the problem with so much. Here's the sort of duality of it. When you experience something and you feel it, you just know that it is. But this material, literal reality that we find ourselves in only seems to be able to work from, it's got to be able to touch it and measure it and try and pull it apart. But there were things called mystery schools. There were things called mystics. It's actually really simple. Mystic. It's just it needs rearranging into the right order. I see mist. You can see the mist. You can see the veil. It's multiple layers to it. Most of them are just smoke screens. Now here's the interesting thing. Let's take moon landings, for example. It doesn't matter whether you believe it's true or not. Here's the crux of it. It takes on a history without a foundation of truth. How many children, especially young boys, have had ambitions of wanting to be an astronaut, for example? Do they know it's a lie if you believe it's not true? How many people maybe have gone on to have a career in rocket engineering or something, inspired by that and similar stories? But is it true or is it not true? Does it matter whether it's true or not with any of this? It's his story. It's the story of the ego. It is as much collectively our story, because we have to take responsibility, because we take part in all these stories, either knowingly or unknowingly, because in that sort of matrix world within the system, how do you escape from it? Because you've got the whole education system that is trying to mold you and shape you into this materialist view on everything and compartmentalization. But then missing the whole point of it. It's like school. The one thing they don't teach in schools, as I've said before, is look at a school of fish like tuna. When they're threatened by a predator, they come together. Right, we're up to 12 minutes. I'm going to stop there. There's lots more I can say, and a lot of it is going to sound highly controversial. But it might be a bit of an ouch moment, but sometimes it does need that. It's not exactly a trigger. It's more a sort of glimmer, because it's trying to spark something in you. Because it's for selfish reasons. I have to admit it is for selfish reasons. I'll come on to that in another video, because that's not all the way it would seemingly appear. Because there's blurred boundaries on things. We'll definitely come on to this on the next video, or next audio video, because that is a quite a big topic. So I do feel I need to explain that one. So we'll leave that there till episode 16.